so loudly that I cannot hear what you have to say. That's exactly what body language is all about. My name is Parker Story, and I am a part of my Dallas College's Speech and Communications class. For the first month of this class, I learned about how important body language is and the meaning behind the different types. In this speech, I'll be going over the different types of body languages, how to read them, and what they mean. Firstly, I'll be talking about eye contact. Then I'll be going over posture, and lastly, I'll be going over facial expressions. Let's begin with eye contact and the message it gives. Our eyes say a lot more before we speak. So what does it mean when someone gives direct eye contact or when someone avoids it? When someone looks you directly in the eye, it usually shows confidence, honesty, and focus. It's a sign that someone is fully engaged with what you have to say. However, if someone avoids eye contact, it can mean they're nervous, uncomfortable, or unsure what to say. Sometimes people look away when they're shy, or it can happen when someone is trying to hide something. When you're thinking about eye contact, realize it's all about balance. Sometimes when you stare and hold eye contact for too long, it can feel intimidating and threatening. When giving the nonverbal communication eye contact, it's important to give a natural, steady gaze that shows confidence. If you hold eye contact too little or too much, it can ultimately send the wrong message. The second type of body language is posture. Posture is one of the clearest ways our body shows how we're feeling. There's many different signals that posture can give off. Someone who stands tall with their shoulders back and their arms relaxed usually gives off as confident and an approachable person. This is what we call an open posture. This gives off the message that you're comfortable and ready to connect. However, when someone crosses their arm, slouches, or turns their body away, it's a closed posture. It gives off a signal of nervousness or a lack of interest. Have you ever been in class before, leaning back with your arms crossed and avoiding eye contact with the teacher? This can give off a message that your words didn't, shows lack of interest. Little movements like leaning in when someone talks can show interest and attention. However, leaning away can signal discomfort or disagreement. Now, let's talk about facial expressions. Our facial expressions reveal emotions faster than our words can. There are a lot of examples of how our face can show how we're feeling or what we're trying to say. A genuine smile, for example, can instantly show friendliness and positivity, but a fake smile is easy to read because our smile does not reach our eyes. Raised eyebrows will show surprise or curiosity, while tightened lips can show anger or concentration. What's interesting is that facial expressions are universal, and people around the world recognize the same expressions for sadness, happiness, fear, and anger, even if they speak different languages. This shows how nonverbal communication is so important. These three different body languages are really important. We went into detail about so much. First, I told you about eye contact. Second, I told you about posture. And lastly, I told you about facial expressions. In the end, reading body language isn't just about communicating with empathy and awareness. When you learn to listen with your eyes as well as your ears, you start to understand people on a much deeper level.